Hello friends, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Yes, somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's session. Yes, am I audible and visible, my friends? Yes, guys, hello. Am I audible? Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, friends, let's begin with today's session on ancient Indian history. And today we are going to begin up with Delhi Sultanate. Here we are going to focus on one of the most important dynasties of Delhi Sultanate, and that is Slave Dynasty. As a part of Slave Dynasty, we are going to discuss the important rulers like Qutubuddin Aybak, who laid the foundation of Slave Dynasty. The most important ruler of the Slave Dynasty, one of the most important rulers, Shamsuddin Iltutmish, who is called as the real consolidator of Turkish power in India. Then we'll speak about Razia Sultana, the only female ruler not only of Slave Dynasty or Mamluk Dynasty, but of the entire Delhi Sultanate. So guys, without wasting any more time, let's begin with today's session. Okay, so now I was going through one of the facts and I noted down these facts and I'll tell you the relevance of these facts. Okay, yesterday we had seen about Muhammad Ghori. We had seen the expeditions led by Muhammad Ghori. The first battle of Tarain, which was fought between Prithviraj Chauhan ji and Muhammad Ghori. Second battle of Tarain again, which was fought between Prithviraj Chauhan ji and Muhammad Ghori. So now Muhammad Ghori, he created a suitable base in the northern part of India. In first battle of Tarain, he lost the battle, and in second battle of Tarain, he became victorious. Many historians do believe that Muhammad Ghori, after second battle of Tarain, he went back to Kabul, and along with him, he took into captive Prithviraj Chauhan ji, and Prithviraj Chauhan ji was killed in Afghanistan. But this is one of the partial truths, and we had seen yesterday what is one of the actual truths here. Okay. Now, if you observe the coins of if you observe the coins of Muhammad Ghori, you will come to see that on one side of the coin, you will observe the motif of goddess Lakshmi. And on the obverse side, that is on the other side of the coin, you will find the, Muhammad Ghori. And there are other coins of Muhammad Ghori where on one side it is written Prithviraj Dev. And on the obverse side, that is on the other side of the coins, you will observe the name Muhammad Sam. Okay? यहाँ तो आ रहा है, यहाँ आ रहा है chats, ठीक है. And on the obverse side, you will observe one thing. On the obverse side, you will observe the name Muhammad Sam. And if you closely observe one thing, the coins specifically of Muhammad Ghori and coins of Prithviraj Chauhan ji are almost similar. Okay? Now, let's move with the Slave Dynasty. And let's talk about Qutubuddin Aybak. Okay? Now, there were 5 major dynasties as a part of Delhi Sultanate. The first one being the Slave Dynasty, or Hindi also referred as Ghulam Vansh. The Slave Dynasty is also referred as Mamluk Dynasty. And particularly during the time of Iltutmish, the Slave Dynasty was also referred as Ilbari Dynasty. Why it was referred as Ilbari dynasty? Because Iltutmish, he belonged to Ilbari tribe. Okay. Then after slave dynasty, other important dynasty was Khilji dynasty. And the foundation of Khilji dynasty was being laid by Jalaluddin Khilji. Jalaluddin Khilji, he was being succeeded by one of the most important rulers, one of the most powerful rulers, not only of Khilji dynasty, but also of entire Delhi Sultanate as per many historians. And his name was Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji's original name was Ali Gurshap. The third most important dynasty that ruled the region of Delhi as a part of Delhi Sultanate was Tughlaq dynasty. And the founder of Tughlaq dynasty was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was being killed by his own son, whose name was Juna Khan, also referred as Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq is also quite famous for his 5 major experiments, which were a disastrous failure. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was being succeeded by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, again important ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Then comes Sayyid dynasty, whose foundation was being laid by Khizr Khan. And then finally comes Lodi dynasty, whose foundation was being laid by Behlol Lodi. And the last ruler of Lodi dynasty was Ibrahim Lodi, who was being defeated by Babur in First Battle of Panipat, which took place in 1526. So these are the important dynasties of Delhi Sultanate. And today we are going to focus on slave dynasty. Correct? And now, please have a pen and paper along with you. You can note down important points. Okay? I'll follow the same pattern wherein we are going to discuss story, fact and concept. Okay? Because today, while teaching Iltutmish, I'll speak on different concepts as well. Like what is Ikta system? Apart from what is Ikta system, what is Turkane-Chahalgani system or Chahalgani system? And quite like there have been many times there have been questions on Chahalgani system, particularly in the UPSC examination. So pay attention carefully. Let's begin with the slave dynasty founder, Qutubuddin Aybak. Okay? Now, Qutub. Qutub basically means Lord of Moon. Okay? And how this person who was initially a slave, he rose to the position of a sultan. Let's go through this process. Now let's understand how this person from slave, what was the journey of this person from slave to sultan. Qutubuddin Aybak, the word Qutub basically means Lord of Moon. And Qutubuddin Aybak, particularly he was being purchased as a slave initially. When just merely he was a boy, when he was quite small at that time, he was sold as a slave at a place called as Nishapur, which is located in Persia. And at that time, this person, he was being purchased by a local Qazi, that is the religious head. Now, Qazi had 2 sons, but he never treated Qutub or Qutubuddin as a slave. Although he was purchased as a slave, but he never treated him as a slave. He treated him like his 2 sons. He provided him proper formal education. He was made expert in all sorts of warfare skills and military skills. But with the passage of time, the Qazi passed away. And when Qazi died, his 2 sons sold Qutubuddin Aybak to a merchant. Now this merchant, he went to Ghazni. And this merchant sold Qutubuddin Aybak to Muhammad Ghori. And Muhammad Ghori purchased him as a slave. Okay, he was being purchased as a slave. Now, initially he was a slave. But with the passage of time, he started gaining the trust of Muhammad Ghori, particularly after the second battle of Tarain, which was fought between Prithviraj Chauhan ji and Muhammad Ghori. So he started gaining the trust of particularly Muhammad Ghori. With the passage of time, he was raised to the level of Amir-e Akhur. Please remember, terminologies are very important from the exam perspective. So he was raised to the level of Amir Akhur. Amir Akhur basically means master of stables. The person who take cares of the horses. Okay? So he was raised to the level of Amir Akhur. Now, as I've told you previously, what happened? When Muhammad Ghori, he defeated Prithviraj Chauhan ji, he went back to Kabul. He went back to Afghanistan. He went back to Ghazni. And he left the administration of northern part of India, particularly in the hands of two slaves. One was Qutubuddin Aybak and the other one was, yes, Bakhtiyar Khilji. We had seen about him yesterday. Now, Qutubuddin Aybak majorly focused on northern part of India. Okay? Like the Bundelkhand region, the region around Delhi. Whereas Bakhtiyar Khilji focused on the eastern part of India. Bakhtiyar Khilji destroyed many ancient universities like Nalanda University, whose foundation was being laid down by the Gupta dynasty ruler Kumar Gupta. Vikramshila University, Odantipur University, and all these universities were the important centers of Buddhist learning. They were the epitome of wisdom and knowledge. All these universities were burned down into ashes. Thousands of Buddhist scholars, thousands of Buddhist monks were being slaughtered and burnt. So this was done by Bakhtiyar Khilji. Now what happened? After some time, hope you are getting the story. Okay? I am going in a very systematic format. I am going in a step-by-step format for easier understanding of the concepts. Okay? Now what happened? After some time, this person, Qutubuddin Aybak, who was given the responsibility of the northern part of India, he had to face rebellion from the Khokhar. And Khokhar tribe was present, it was majorly prevalent in the northern part of India and northwestern part of India. Now Qutubuddin Aybak, he was unable to suppress the revolt by Khokhar. Now what happened? Muhammad Ghori had to come back to India. And when Muhammad Ghori had to come back to India, he suppressed the revolt by the Khokhars. Okay? Muhammad Ghori, he came to India and he had to suppress the revolt that was led by Khokhar. Now he was going back to Afghanistan. He was going back to Kabul. Now when he was going back to Kabul, many historians believe that he was being killed by a fanatic on the way. So he was being assassinated. Okay? Pay attention carefully. I'll repeat the points again. In short, Qutubuddin Aybak, he was purchased as a slave by a Qazi. After Qazi's death, his two sons sold this person, Qutubuddin Aybak, to Ghori. And Ghori now became one of the most loyal or the right-hand man of, not Ghori, Aibak. Aibak became the right-hand man of Ghori. And we have studied about the expeditions led by Ghori in India. We have studied about his invasions. And when particularly this person was going back to Kabul, he left the entire administration of India in the hands of one of his loyal slaves, Qutubuddin Aybak. Now, there was an outbreak of revolt by the Khokhar tribe. And to suppress this revolt, Ghori had to come back. And when Ghori had to come back, what happened? He suppressed the revolt. But when he was going back to Afghanistan, when he was going back to Kabul, some fanatic person assassinated him. Somebody killed him on the way. Immediately what happened? The distant, what we say, governors declared themselves as independent. Now, there was a governor whose name was Tajuddin Yalduz. Okay, he was ruling in the region of Ghazni. He declared himself as independent. In the region of Multan and Sindh, there was another person who was ruling, whose name was Nasiruddin Kabacha. Now, usually what happened, we have seen this in ancient India. This actually happens, correct? Now, after the death of the major ruler, there is a complete chaotic situation. Isn't that so? Like we have seen about the ancient India, we have seen about Ashok. And we have seen, like during his lifetime, Ashok, he had divided his kingdom between two of his grandsons. Correct? So in that case, the weak successors, what happens in that case? The weak successors actually lead to the decline of kingdom. and the distant governors start declaring themselves as independent. True? Like we study post-Gupta rulers. In post-Guptas, who are these post-Gupta rulers? These are majorly the feudatories of Guptas. Similarly here as well. When this person, Muhammad Ghori, passed away, the governors of distant places started declaring themselves as independent. One was Tajuddin Yalduz of Ghazni. Another one was Nasiruddin Kabacha of Multan. Here, Qutubuddin Aybak in India. And in fact, previously in Battle of Chandawar, what we say, Muhammad Ghori had defeated whom? Muhammad Ghori had defeated Jayachandra. But now, Jayachandra's son, whose name was Harish Chandra, okay, Jayachandra's son, whose name was Harish Chandra, he has again reacquired Badaयूं and Farrukhabad. So now this was a very chaotic situation again for Qutubuddin Aybak to manage all these three. Hope you understood the scenario. I am explaining things in a step-by-step manner for better understanding of the concept. Okay? Yes, good afternoon, Nivedita. Yes, I'll repeat the points again. Immediately after the death of Ghori, what happened? Tajuddin Yalduz declared himself independent in Ghazni. Nasiruddin Kabacha declared himself as independent in Multan. Qutubuddin Aybak declared himself as independent in India. And initially, Jayachandra, the ruler of Kannauj, was defeated in Battle of Chandawar by Muhammad Ghori. But now, the son of Jayachandra, Harish Chandra, he acquired the lost territories again. Now, this was a very competitive aspect for Qutubuddin Aybak. How to establish Delhi Sultanate. Why? Because he did not had any problem from Nasiruddin Kabacha. Because Nasiruddin Kabacha, he declared himself as independent in Multan. But he did not wanted to majorly acquire the territories around Delhi. But the person Tajuddin Yalduz, who had declared himself independent in Ghazni, he said that now I want Delhi as well. Now I want India as well. So the first challenge was Tajuddin Yalduz. Second challenge was Jayachandra's son, Harish Chandra. Because this person, Harish Chandra, he had made alliance with the other rulers. And he had acquired the regions of Farrukhabad and Badaयूं. So now what happened? This person, Tajuddin Yalduz, he was defeated by Qutubuddin Aybak in 1215 AD in Battle of Tarain again. So Tajuddin Yalduz, he was out of the competition. Right from the start itself, Nasiruddin Kabacha was from out of the competition. Only one person is left, Harish Chandra. He was also being defeated. So what happened? Qutubuddin Aybak laid the foundation of slave dynasty under Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Although Qutubuddin Aybak, he laid the foundation of slave dynasty in Delhi, he never made Delhi as his capital. His capital was Lahore. Now the first question then crops up in the mind of every aspirant. This is Delhi Sultanate. He was ruling particularly from the region of Delhi. Why did he led major expeditions in the region around Delhi? Why did he made Lahore as its capital? There was a reason behind this. Although Tajuddin Yalduz, the governor of Ghazni, was defeated, but still he can again attack. Isn't that so? It is always said, never ever leave your enemy half dead. Either pardon him or kill him. Why? There's a reason behind this. Because after some time, he will take the revenge of that defeat. Same happened in the first battle of Tarain. Isn't that so? In first battle of Tarain, Prithviraj Chauhan ji became victorious. And this person, Muhammad Ghori, he fled away from the battlefield. Although he was being chased for approximately 40 miles, but still he survived. And what happened next? In the next year itself, what happened? In the next year itself, this person regained power and again attacked in 1192 AD against Prithviraj Chauhan ji. Isn't that so? History teaches us a lot of things. Particularly if you read Kautilya's Arthashastra in quite depth and detail, you'll come to know about all these things. So coming back here, what happened? He never made Delhi as his capital. Okay? He made his capital at which place? Lahore. Why? Because if Tajuddin Yalduz again tries to attack him, he can easily contain him. He can easily defeat him. So the capital during the time of Qutubuddin Aybak was not Delhi. The capital was Lahore. Okay. Now coming back to the other parts of Qutubuddin Aybak. Qutubuddin Aybak. It is believed that Qutubuddin Aybak, he was a disciple of one of the Sufi saints at that time whose name was Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki, also referred as Kaki. Okay. Now, there's a beautiful and interesting story about the name Kaki. Kaki, it has been derived from the word kak. I repeat, the word Kaki has been derived from the word kak, and kak basically means a bread. Now, it is believed that he was a Sufi saint, Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. Okay. Now, we'll study about Sufism in quite depth and detail, but I'll tell you in general about Sufism. The word Sufi has been derived from the word Suf, and Suf basically means wool or wool. Okay. Now, the Sufi saints, they used to live a life of an ascetic. They were also called as fakir. They were referred as darwish, wali and peer. They believed in simplicity of the religion, and their disciples were referred as murid. So the Sufi saints were referred as peer. Peer means teacher or a mentor, whereas their disciple were referred as murid. Murid basically means disciple. Okay. So Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki, he was one of the famous Sufi saints of one silsila which is referred as Chishti silsila. We'll study about all these silsilas in quite depth and detail. Like there are different silsilas. Chishti silsila, Suharvardi silsila, Qadri silsila and so on. So this person, Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki, he was a Sufi saint of Chishti silsila. And it is believed that he had certain miraculous powers. Like once upon a time, he did not have a bread to eat. He did not had any chapati. So his wife requested him that we can go into the nearby shop and ask him for certain, what we say, flour that he can provide to us, so that at least we can bake certain chapatis. He said, rather than going and begging for someone else, you just pray to Allah. You just pray to God and He'll provide you those things. His wife went in the corner of the room and she started praying to Allah through her whole dedication. And finally she was given the bread. That is kak. Hence his name is Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. So legends have different stories about Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. So Qutubuddin Aybak, he was disciple of Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. And hence Qutubuddin Aybak initiated the construction of Qutub Minar located in Delhi, dedicated to Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. Okay? My friends, if you have paid attention to my words closely, you will observe one thing. I didn't say this person, Qutubuddin Aybak, constructed Qutub Minar. I said he initiated the construction of Qutub Minar. It was not being constructed by Aybak. Okay. It was not at all being constructed by Aybak. In fact, it was being initiated by Aybak and the construction was being completed by his slave and son-in-law, Iltutmish. Okay. So I'll repeat the points again. Qutubuddin Aybak, he initiated the construction of Qutub Minar dedicated to Sufi saint Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. Another important, construction, that is Adhai Deen Ka Jhopda, which is located in Ajmer. The credit goes to Qutubuddin Aybak. Now the story, it goes back to 1197 or 1198 AD. When this person, Qutubuddin Aybak, he was not a sultan at that time. He was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. So when he was a slave of Muhammad Ghori, how did he constructed Adhai Din ka Jhopda? There's a reason behind this. Now, once upon a time, Muhammad Ghori, he was going through the region of Ajmer. And when he was going through the region of Ajmer, he observed many temples there, particularly the temples related to Lord Krishna. And in the evening, he saw that there were prayers being offered to Lord Krishna. Bhajan and kirtans were going on in the temple. So immediately he asked his slave Qutubuddin Aybak for construction of mosque so that he can offer prayers to the God or Allah. Many historians believe that with the help of local ruins, with the help of local resources, Qutubuddin Aybak constructed a mosque within 2.5 days. Hence, this place is referred as Adhai Din ka Jhopda. Okay, Adhai Din means Adhai Din. It's a Hindi word. Adhai means 2.5 or dhai. So it is referred as Adhai Din ka Jhopda. Another story narrates another fact that there is a fair that is being held particularly around this place for 2.5 days. Hence, this place is referred as Adhai Din ka Jhopda. So legends have different stories about the construction of Adhai Din ka Jhopda. So Adhai Din ka Jhopda was also being constructed at Ajmer by Qutubuddin Aybak. Apart from this, Quwat-ul-Islam Mosque, its foundation was being laid down by particularly Qutubuddin Aybak. Simple words, Quwat-ul-Islam Mosque was being constructed by Qutubuddin Aybak. Another important thing, this person is also referred as Lakh Baksh. Lakh Baksh simply means that he used to donate a lot. He used to donate to the Sufi saints, the Peer, the Wali, the Fakir, the Darwesh. So he used to go for liberal donations. Hence, he is also referred as Lakh Baksh. Okay? Now, there's a very different story about the death of Qutubuddin Aybak. As in the very first session of Medieval India, I've told you this story. And I've told you that our history book specifically mentions, rather it be the NCERT, Tamil Nadu State Board book, or for that sake, any reference book, it states that Qutubuddin Aybak died while playing Chaughan, that is polo. But what's the actual story behind this? I've narrated that story and I'll repeat this story again, how this person died. Okay? I'll give you a small example about this. In the region of Mewar, there was a ruler whose name was Kunwar Karan Singh. And as a part of expansionist policy, Qutubuddin Aybak attacked the region of Mewar. After attacking the region of Mewar, it is believed that this person, Qutubuddin Aybak, he took Kunwar Karan Singh into captive. But Qutubuddin Aybak also observed one thing, that this person, Kunwar Karan Singh Ji, okay, one of the major rulers of Mewar at that time, Kunwar Karan Singh Ji, he had a horse whose name was Shubrak. Correct? We have heard about the horse of Maharana Pratap Ji, Chetak. We have heard about the horses like Pawan, Badal, Sarangi. These are the horses of Rani Lakshmi Bai Ji. Correct? But this horse also deserves another accolade in the books of history, and his name is Shubrak. How? And how is the story of Shubrak, Aibak and Kunwar Karan Singh correlated? Let's explore. Now, as I've told you, Qutubuddin Aybak defeated Kunwar Karan Singh Ji, and after defeating Kunwar Karan Singh Ji, he was taken into captive. Now, Aibak observed one thing. He observed that Shubrak, the horse of Karan Singh Ji, he was very closely related to this person. And when he was closely related to this person, so he could not see the captivation of his master, and tears rolled down by the eyes of Shubrak. At that time, Aibak decided that I will also take Shubrak along with me to Lahore, along with Kunwar Karan Singh. Kunwar Karan Singh Ji was imprisoned. Okay. And when Kunwar Karan Singh Ji was imprisoned, just in the front of the jail, the horse was kept. And he would obviously see his master continuously, his condition. One fine day, there was a plot wherein Karan Singh Ji and Shubrak will run away. But the entire plot got unearthed. And Aibak actually wanted to teach a lesson. So what did Aibak decided? That he said that I am going to publicly behead Karan Singh ji. And after beheading him, I'll play Chaughan. I will play polo with his head. Okay? He sat on the back of Shubrak, the horse of Karan Singh ji. And specifically, many historians believe that this what we say horse, Shubrak, could not see the condition of his master. So he took a leap, and as soon as he took a leap, what happened? This person, Aibak, fell down. 10 to 12 times this person, Aibak, was being knocked by the horse. And finally, Aibak died. Immediately, Shubrak ran towards his master, picked him up, and ran till the region of Udaipur. And the books of history reveals that Qutubuddin Aybak died while playing Chaughan or polo. This is the actual story how Qutubuddin Aybak died. The tomb of Qutubuddin Aybak is located at a place called as Anarkali Bazar, Lahore. Okay. Another important thing, Qutubuddin Aybak patronized scholars like Hassan Nizami, who wrote books like Tarikh-e-Mubarak Shahi and Taj-ul-Masir. So please remember these, important books, and please remember the name Hassan Nizami, who was a court historian being patronized by Qutubuddin Aybak. Clear? Any question, any query, any doubt? Yes, guys, please feel free to ask. Iltutmish. Yes, guys, is it clear? I'll repeat the points again within 30 seconds. Please note down. Yes, Ravi, Taj-ul-Masir is a book. And this book was written by one of the historians of that time, whose name was Hassan Nizami. He was being patronized by Aibak. Is it clear, Ravi, now? Okay. I'll repeat the points about what we say. Aibak again in short. He initiated the construction of Qutub Minar, dedicated to Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, a Sufi saint. He constructed Quwat-ul-Islam Mosque in Delhi. Apart from this, he constructed Adhai Deen Ka Jhopda in Ajmer. He is referred as Lakh Baksh. He died while playing Chaughan. His capital was not Delhi, his capital was Lahore, probably as per historians, to save the Delhi Sultanate from attack by Tajuddin Yalduz. Okay? And he is also referred as Lakh Baksh because he used to go for all sorts of liberal donations. This is majorly about Qutubuddin Aybak. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Ravi. Now, before coming to Iltutmish, who was slave as well as son-in-law of Aibak, let me tell you about, there is a person whose name is Aram Shah. Now, who is Aram Shah? Different historians have different opinions. There are dissenting opinions. Some historians believe that Aram Shah was son of Qutubuddin Aybak. Some historians believe that Qutubuddin Aybak did not had any son, he had 3 daughters. Some historians believe that Aram Shah was one of the brothers of Qutubuddin Aybak. But since majority of the Islamic scholars support one fact, that Aram Shah was one of the sons of Qutubuddin Aybak, who sat on the throne of Delhi Sultanate, particularly slave dynasty, just merely for 8 months. Okay? Why? He was not a competent ruler. Now I'll tell you one thing. During this time, we have seen this right from the start of medieval India, that nobles played a very major role either in dethroning the king or the sultan or making someone as a sultan. In fact, in certain cases, the nobles, they played the role of sultan makers, and sultan maker is more powerful than the sultan. True. Like particularly the nobles, they were so powerful that they decided who will become the sultan, although they had their own personal interest in that. Correct? So now what happened? Aram Shah sat on the throne with the help of the nobles. But the personality of Aram Shah, in Hindi the word Aram basically means like rest. as the personality, in the similar manner was his work. Okay, he continuously used to rest, and he was a very incompetent ruler. Now what happened? The Turkish nobles, who were the part of the Council of Ministers, that is Majlis-e Khalwat at that time, they disliked this policy of Aram Shah. Because with the passage of time, what will happen? If you are not expanding your kingdom, if you are not following the policy of imperialism, if you are not supporting the nobles in their cause, what will happen? With the passage of time, the kingdom will perish. So nobles, what did they do? They invited Iltutmish. And they invited Iltutmish to defeat Aram Shah and acquire the throne of Delhi Sultanate. So Iltutmish was being supported by the nobles. Iltutmish came in, he deposed Aram Shah and became the next important ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Now let's understand about Iltutmish. Okay. Why Iltutmish is called as the real consolidator of Turkish rule in India? Let's explore this. Just a second. Why is referred as a real consolidator of Turkish rule in India? Let's explore. As I have told you, why this is referred as a slave dynasty? Because the rulers initially were the slaves of the previous rulers. Now this person, Iltutmish, the basic meaning of the word Iltutmish is maintainer of the kingdom. He was sold into slavery as a very young boy. And later on, it is believed that he spent his initial days at a place called as Ghazni and Bukhara. After some time, he was purchased as a slave by Qutubuddin Aybak. And when he was purchased as a slave by Qutubuddin Aybak, initially, he served as Sar-e-Jandar. Now, what is Sar-e-Jandar? Sar-e-Jandar is head of the royal bodyguards. These are the personal guards of the ruler or the sultan. So he served as Sar-e-Jandar initially. But with the passage of time, he became the military commander. Again, with the passage of time, he became the governor of particular, provinces. So he started gaining the trust of Qutubuddin Aybak. Now, as Qutubuddin Aybak passed away, he was succeeded by one of his incompetent son, referred as Aram Shah. And Aram Shah was being deposed by Iltutmish. Now, Iltutmish again had to face the same problem. Okay. Iltutmish again had to face the same problem. And what was that problem? Iltutmish had to face the problem wherein, what happened? Wherein Iltutmish, like Tajuddin Yalduz, if you remember, okay, Tajuddin Yalduz, who was being defeated initially, by whom? He was being defeated initially by Qutubuddin Aybak. Okay. Yes, guys, please correct one thing. If you're noting down the points, initially I have said you, Tajuddin Yalduz was being defeated by Qutubuddin Aybak in Battle of Tarain. But Battle of Tarain, it occurred in 1215 AD. So, the Battle of Tarain wherein Tajuddin Yalduz was again defeated, it was not at the time of Aibak, it was at the time of Iltutmish. So, please correct that. I repeat, please correct that. Okay. Now, coming back. Now, Tajuddin Yalduz, who was initially defeated by Qutubuddin Aybak, he again wanted to acquire India. The first problem for Iltutmish. We had seen about Nasiruddin Kabacha, who was ruling in Multan. Okay. This person said that I also want to acquire India now. So he had two major problems. And the third major problem for Iltutmish was Mongols. Now, Iltutmish, he thought that it is easy to manage Tajuddin Yalduz. It is easy to manage this, Nasiruddin Kabacha. But how to manage Mongols? Mongols under Temujin or Genghis Khan were so powerful that they had occupied almost the major parts of Central Asia. Nobody ever dared to fight against the powerful army of the Mongols under Temujin or Genghis Khan. So, probably Mongol, after conquering the region of Central Asia, might have an eye over India. and the position of Delhi Sultanate now is not safe. So first thing, he had to crush 3 revolts. First was Tajuddin Yalduz, second was Nasruddin Kabacha, and the third one was Mongols. So the most difficult task here was containing the Mongols. So what happened? Step by step, he started crushing his enemies. And here, Mongols cannot be defeated. Mongols need to be taken care. Mongols need to be tackled diplomatically. And in a very expert manner, how this person tackled Mongols, let's see. So now, he defeated Tajuddin Yalduz in Battle of Tarain, 1215 AD. First thing, Nasruddin Kabacha, the governor of Multan, he was being drowned in the river, so he was being killed. Now come Mongols. Now what happened? Listen to me very carefully. In Central Asia, what happened? In Central Asia, Khwarezmi Empire was ruling. And when Mongols attacked the Central Asia, Khwarezmi Empire started declining. And the head of the Khwarezmi Empire was referred as Shah of Khwarezmi. Simple words, the Sultan or the ruler of Khwarezmi. Now this person, he had particularly 2 sons. Now one of his son, whose name was Jalaluddin Mangbarani, he ran away from the battlefield. I repeat, in Central Asia, Khwarezmi Empire was ruling. The ruler of Khwarezmi Empire was referred as Shah of Khwarezmi. Now Central Asia was being attacked by Mongols under Chengiz Khan or Temujin. Now he completely invaded Central Asia and probably he might have an eye on India now. Now the son of Khwarezmi, whose name was Jalaluddin Mangbarani, he ran away from the battlefield. And as he ran away from the battlefield, what happened? He came to India in the court of Iltutmish and sought asylum. Protect me from Mongols. Now this person, he believed that, first of all, I need to protect myself from Mongols. How will I provide you the protection? So he came in the court of Iltutmish and said, protect me from Mongols. Iltutmish diplomatically avoided the Mongolian attack on India. How? He refused to give asylum to Jalaluddin Mangbarani. And when he refused to give asylum to Jalaluddin Mangbarani, what did Mongols think? They thought that probably Iltutmish wants to befriend Mongols. And in that manner, he prevented India from the attack or wrath of Mongols at that time. So this was a very smart move, or this was a very diplomatic move that was being taken by Iltutmish at that time. Okay? Like, I'll tell you one thing. Mongols, like everyone was afraid of Mongols, and Mongols were afraid of what we say Alauddin Khilji, one of the rulers of Khilji dynasty. Can you believe one important fact? There is a place called as Siri Fort in Delhi. Siri, it's a Hindi word, and the word has been derived from the word Sar. Sar means head. 8,000 Mongols were being beheaded by Alauddin Khilji. Okay, and using their head, he laid the foundation of the fort referred as Siri Fort. So Mongols were only afraid of Alauddin. And everyone at that time, every Islamic ruler was afraid of whom? The Mongols. Getting the points clear? So in a very smart manner, in a very diplomatic manner, this person, Iltutmish, what did he do? Now this person, he prevented India from the wrath of Mongols. Iltutmish, he shifted the capital from Lahore to Delhi. As I have told you, although Qutubuddin Aybak, he laid the foundation of slave dynasty as a part of Delhi Sultanate, but still his capital was Lahore. The capital was shifted from Lahore to Delhi by Iltutmish, also referred as Shamsuddin. Another important thing that you need to remember about Iltutmish, and it's a very important one, he started one system called as Ikta system. Now what is Ikta system all about? Let's understand. Okay, pay attention carefully because it's a very important system. Let me go back a bit into the ancient India part. Okay, Like in ancient India, I've talked about one thing, and wherein I've talked about particularly that the Mauryan Empire was divided into different provinces. The Gupta Empire was divided into different provinces called as Bhuktis. In similar manner, what happened? The rulers of Delhi Sultanate divided their empire into different provinces. And these provinces were referred as Ikta. Head of the Ikta was referred as Iktadar. Now, pay attention carefully. It is not necessary that Ikta is always a province. Okay, Ikta might be a piece of land as well. But in major cases, it was a province. Now, what is this system all about? Let's understand. Suppose I'm a soldier of the army of Iltutmish. Now, I'm being given the salary in cash. And there's another soldier, or there is another, what we say, commander-in-chief. He is not given salary in cash. In fact, he is given a piece of land. Now, after giving him the piece of a land as a part of Ikta system, what will happen? Whatever money is coming in the form of taxes, he will keep his salary, and the excess amount would be returned back to the administration. I repeat, certain soldiers were given salary in cash, but certain commanders, they were not given the salary in cash. They were given a piece of land. Whatever money is accrued from that land in the form of taxes, the person will keep his salary, and the excess amount would be returned back to the administration. And the excess amount that is returned back to the administration is referred as fawazil. Important terminology. Okay. And this entire system is called as Ikta system. Ikta system was not hereditary. I repeat, Ikta system was not hereditary during the time of slave dynasty. It was made hereditary later during the time of Tughlaq dynasty, particularly by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, I'll repeat the points again. Pay attention carefully. Ikta system. Rather than giving salary in cash to someone, a piece of land is given. And whatever money is accrued from the taxes, the person keeps his salary, and the excess amount is returned back to the administration. The excess amount that is returned back to the administration is referred as fawazil. And Ikta system, like basically the head of the land was referred as Iktadar. Ikta system was not hereditary. It was later made hereditary during the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Then Iktadars were transferable. They were transferred from one fief to the other. Fief means land. Now, why Iktadars were transferable? There was a reason behind that. Suppose if a person is an Iktadar of a place for more than 5 years, he will start developing local power and influence. And in that case, he will start accruing more wealth. Probably, he can become more powerful than the Sultan. Hence, the Ikta system was not hereditary and the Iktadars were transferable. They were transferred from one fief to the other. So, simple words, Ikta system was being initiated by Iltutmish or Shamsuddin Iltutmish. Another important system initiated by Iltutmish was Turkhan-e-Chahalgani system or Chahalgani system. Now, what is Chahalgani or Turkhan-e-Chahalgani system? Turk basically means Turkish. 40 powerful nobles. Appointing 40 powerful nobles who will assist the king or the sultan in performance of his duties. Although this system might have proved better for this person Iltutmish, but in the coming years, what happened? In the coming years, it will be the reason for the grave of various sultans. As I have told you, if the nobles become more powerful than the sultan, they will start dictating terms and conditions to the sultan. And these are 40 powerful nobles who assist the king in the performance of the duty. Now, why these, what we say, nobles will assist the king? Obviously for the salary, and second thing, if they have their own personal interest being served, they will support the ruler. If their personal interest is not served, what will happen? They will go against the ruler and choose another person as a sultan. So in the coming years, Turkan-e-Chahalgani or these 40 powerful noble will become the sultan makers, the king makers. So Turkan-e-Chahalgani system, it was being initiated by Iltutmish. Apart from this, Iltutmish, he introduced two coins, silver tanka and copper jital. I repeat, he introduced two coins, silver tanka and copper jital. Apart from this, as we have discussed earlier, the construction of Qutub Minar was initiated by Qutubuddin Aybak. Okay, I did not say it was constructed by Qutubuddin Aybak. The construction of Qutub Minar was initiated by Qutubuddin Aybak and he only constructed one floor, one story. Okay, but the entire construction of Qutub Minar was being completed by, Iltutmish. Now remember one more fact, guys. Pay attention carefully, since I'm trying to correlate different facts and questions can crop up in the examination in such a manner. So pay attention carefully. Qutub Minar's construction was initiated by Aibak. It was completed by Iltutmish. In the coming years, Qutub Minar was being struck by lightning and the upper story or the upper floor was destroyed. So Qutub Minar was repaired by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. In the coming years, the ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Is it clear? Please do not get confused. Qutub Minar construction was started by Aibak, completed by his slave and son-in-law Iltutmish, and in the coming years it was destroyed by lightning and reconstructed by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Hope so the points are clear. Apart from this, this person, he laid down the construction of Gandhak ki Bauli. Okay, and it is a step well dedicated to a Sufi saint, Qutubuddin Bhakhtiyar Kaki. Just discussed a while back. This person, Iltutmish, he is also referred as, he also constructed Hauz-e-Samshi near Delhi. He is called as conqueror of India or conqueror of Hind and is referred as Hindgir. He patronized another historian whose name was Minhas-us-Siraj, who wrote a book called as Tabaqat-e-Nasiri. Okay, I repeat, Tabaqat-e-Nasiri. So please do remember these names. Sometimes question can crop up in the form of match the following. On one side you will find the historian, on the other side you will find the books that have been written by them. Okay, I'll repeat the points again within a minute. Okay, till here, do you have any doubt, any question, any query? Please feel free to ask. Yes. And please keep the session interactive, guys. You can ask me any sort of questions. I'll repeat the points again as I've told you previously. Please recorrect that point that Qutubuddin Aybak defeated Tajuddin Yalduz initially. But he was again been defeated by Iltutmish in Battle of Tarain, 1215 AD. So I'll repeat. Iltutmish, he was slave as well as son-in-law of Aibak. Iltutmish, he belonged to Ilbari dynasty. Hence the slave dynasty during the time of Iltutmish is also referred as Ilbari dynasty. Now, Iltutmish, he defeated Tajuddin Yalduz. He killed Nasruddin Kabacha by drowning him in the river. And he saved India from the wrath of Mongols by not giving asylum to Jalaluddin Mangabarani. He initiated Ikta system, wherein a piece of land were given to the nobles in lieu of salary, and whatever was their salary, they used to keep their salary, and the excess amount was returned back to the administration. The excess amount was referred as Fawazil. Okay, the first point. Second, he started Turkan-e-Chahalgani system. Turkan-e-Chahalgani basically means appointing 40 powerful nobles who will assist the king in performance of his duties. Then, he completed the construction of Qutub Minar. He constructed Hauz-e-Samshi near Mehrauli in Delhi. Apart from this, Gandak Ki Bauli, dedicated a step well, dedicated to Sufi saint Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, also referred as Hindgir, conqueror. He is also referred as Shah-e-Sharq, that is king of the east. He patronized Minhas Us-Siraj, who wrote a book called as Tabaqat-e Nasiri. Now comes Razia Sultana. Okay. Now, before I begin with Razia Sultana, the session is hardly of more 15 minutes. The only female ruler, not only of slave dynasty, but of entire Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Now, although the society at that time was patriarchal, although the society at that time was insular minded, how did this lady made to the throne of Delhi Sultanate? Razia Sultana. So, many historians have dissenting opinion. And one such opinion was, like, this person, Iltutmish, he had 3 sons who were contender to the throne. Okay? And 1 daughter. Many historians believe that he had 2 daughters, Razia and Shazia. But many historians believe that he had only 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Razia. Now, he believed that none of his son is worthy to become a sultan. None of his son is competent enough to become a sultan, and Razia, his daughter, has all the qualities of becoming a sultan. And he tested this. How? Now, Aibak had one of his sons, so not Aibak, Iltutmish had one of his sons whose name was Ruknuddin Firoz Shah. Okay. Now what happened at this particular point of time, this person, Iltutmish, he led a campaign against Gwalior. And when he was going to lead a campaign against Gwalior, he asked his son Ruknuddin Firoz Shah and Razia Sultana to take care of the administration properly. Okay. Now, Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, he had a mother named as Turkan Khatun. Ruknuddin Firoz Shah was an incompetent ruler. And after a successful expedition from Gwalior, when Iltutmish came back, he saw that the administration was going in a very beautiful manner. And the entire care of the administration was being taken by Razia, his daughter, and not by Turkan Khatun, his wife, and Ruknuddin Firoz Shah. So at that time, he declared that my successor would be Razia. And Iltutmish passed away. And when Iltutmish passed away, it is believed that, as I have told you, the society at that time was patriarchal society. It was an insular-minded society, and the society believes that why should we appoint a female as a ruler? Okay? Immediately, Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, he was being taken as a ruler. Or he was like, it is not like that Iltutmish was directly succeeded by Razia Sultana. Just for few months, Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, one of the sons of Iltutmish, he sat on the throne of Delhi Sultanate as a part of slave dynasty. Now what happened? As I've told you, Ruknuddin Firoz Shah, he was an incompetent ruler. He was not an able administrator. He hardly had the knowledge of the administration. He rode on elephants, he distributed gold, and the entire administration was taken care by his mother, Turkan Khatun. Now what happened? Nobles started switching loyalties. Now try and understand this diplomatic and smart move that was being taken by the nobles. Okay, but this smart move that nobles thought was from their side might be a disastrous mistake. How? Let's explore. This person was an incompetent ruler. Now nobles thought that how can he run the administration? The members of Turkan-e-Chahalgani or 40 powerful nobles. It is better to support Razia Sultana to acquire the throne. Now 2 reasons. First, this person is incompetent. At least Razia is competent enough. Second thing, she is a female administration. She is a female administrator. She hardly has the knowledge of the administration and she will work for us like a puppet. Okay? So for these reasons, what happened? nobles started supporting Razia Sultana. And taking this as an opportunity, Razia Sultana killed his brother Ruknuddin Firoz Shah and mother Turkan Khatun. And now Razia, she became the next Sultan or the emperor of slave dynasty related with Delhi Sultanate. The expectations of nobles were completely shattered. Why? As I've told you, why did the nobles support Razia Sultana? Because they believed that she is a woman. She does not know about the administration. And in that case, she will work for us like a puppet. But this did not happen. Actually, the things were reversed. And what happened at that time? Now, particularly, as soon as she became an administrator, as soon as she became the Sultan, she started wearing the apparels like a Sultan. Like in Islam, you might have heard about a woman cannot unveil her face to anyone. Simple words, parda system. She held the court completely, her face unveiled. She used to go on a ride on horses and elephants. She used to meet the people. And as I've told you about Turkane-Chahalgani system, which said that all the powerful nobles were Turkish, she broke this trend. The person who deserves to become the person who deserves to become the, head of the particular office, it should be on the basis of merit. Rather it be he is a Turkish or a non-Turkish. So this infuriated the Turkish nobles. Like there was a person, he was later on the governor of Bhatinda or Sirhind. His name was Iltutmish. He was also the part of 40 powerful nobles or Turkane-Chahalgani. He was a governor of Sirhind and he was a quite good supporter of whom? Razia Sultana. But later on, he started opposing Razia Sultana. Why he started opposing Razia Sultana? As I've told you, Razia Sultana started appointing people on the basis of merit, not on the basis of whether he's a Turkish or a non-Turkish. One of the finest example about this is Malik Jamaluddin Yaqut. I repeat, Malik Jamaluddin Yaqut. He was an African slave. He was an Abyssinian slave of whom? Of Razia Sultana. And this actually infuriated all the Turkish nobles. Like governor of Lahore, he revolted and he was being suppressed. But now one of the nobles, or in simple word, one of the members of Turkane-Chahalgani or 40 powerful nobles, whose name was Malik Iltutmish, he was the governor of Sirhind or Bhatinda, he revolted. And to suppress the revolt, what happened? Razia Sultana, she moved from Delhi along with her loyal slave Yaqut to suppress Iltutmish. And Iltutmish came to know about this, that Razia Sultana, she has left Delhi and coming towards Sirhind along with his slave Yaqut. Immediately with a large army he came and he killed Yaqut. Razia Sultana was taken into captive and she was imprisoned for next few months or years. And Iltutmish, initially he forced Razia Sultana to marry him. But what happened? Later on, both of them got married. Iltutmish and Razia Sultana. Hope so the points are clear. I'll repeat the points again. Pay attention carefully. As soon as this lady, Razia Sultana, broke the tradition of appointing the non-Turkish as a part of the administration, this infuriated many nobles. One of the noble was the governor of Sirhind or Bhatinda, whose name was Malik Iltutmish. Why? Because Razia Sultana had appointed Jamaluddin Yaqut as her slave and he started revolting. To suppress the revolt, she along with Yaqut moved towards Sirhind. But Yaqut was killed on the way and she was taken into imprisonment. After some time, Iltutmish and Razia Sultana got married. Meanwhile, what happened? One of the brothers of Razia Sultana, whose name was Aram Shah, he sat on the throne of Delhi Sultanate. He sat on the throne of slave dynasty. And now Iltutmish and Razia Sultana, husband wife, they wanted to acquire the throne and they wanted to defeat Aram Shah. Okay? Altunia started marching towards Delhi, and many of them believed that, particularly some of the members of the army of Altunia and Razia Sultana deserted against them. And Khokhar tribe, particularly around the region of Punjab, they were the main reason for killing of Altunia and Razia Sultana at a place called as Kaithal near Haryana. Okay? Altunia and Razia Sultana started moving towards Delhi to kill this person, Aram Shah. But some of the members deserted from the army and killed Razia Sultana and Altunia at Kaithal, which is located in Haryana. Many historians believe that this was a planned plot. Planned plot by whom? His brother Aram Shah. Okay. As per many historians, the tomb of Razia Sultana is located at a place called as Turkman Gate, Bhojli Pahadi, particularly near Delhi. Some historians believe that the tomb of Razia Sultana is located in Kaithal, Haryana. Okay, but we'll go as per the major part of the historians. So it is located at Bhojli Pahadi, Turkman Gate. Because there was a historian whose name was Rana Safavis. His book, Forgotten Cities of Delhi, mentions that his tomb is located in Bhojli Pahadi, Turkman Gate, Delhi. So this was the major role of one of the first female rulers of slave dynasty and Delhi Sultanate. Hope so the points are clear, guys. Yes. Are the things clear? UPSC, IAS English, GS Foundation, Prelims to Interview, Pratigya batch will start on 23rd of June, 2025. It's a morning batch and the timing for the batch is approximately around 8 a.m. Okay. As I've told you time and again one thing, guys, and that is here in this batch, here directly there won't be any focus on the major concepts. We'll start the entire course from the basics. Then we'll go to the major part or the reference book. There would be a proper answer writing practice as a part, like how the UPSC follows the trend of the examination. Correct? So in this batch, Pratigya basically means a commitment from our side wherein the proper answer writing would be done, completion of syllabus on time, focus on prelims and mains. Apart from this, personality development as a part of this program. And the fees is quite minimum, that is 30,999. To avail the benefits, I would suggest you please use my code ALOK Live, which is flashing on your screen. I repeat the code ALOK Live. Okay, guys. So with this, I stop my words. Thank you and have a wonderful day.